Bueno, vamos a pasar ahora al intercambio de puntos de vista con la sobrina de Tenzin, Delek Rinpoche, sobre la situación de los derechos humanos en el Tíbet. Como saben, es una cuestión que incumbe a este comité y a muchos de los diputados que son miembros. Como no tenemos mucho tiempo, voy a pasar directamente la palabra, bueno, no sé si a la señora o a su intérprete, pero en todo caso tienen ustedes la palabra y les doy la bienvenida en este subcomité de derechos humanos.
Honorable Chair, members of the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. So Nyima Lhamo is here with us today. We are going to start with a brief introduction in Tibetan from Nyima Lhamo, and then I'll do the translation and read her statement. Ms. Nyima.
Nyila Nyima Lhamo le kujo Tenzin Delek chamori ta chama go hakojre sand Rinpoche dangala pai kang leto zongre ngazu pai na chamo la nisi ngayure ngati na ani patre tengozu pagi magi ashi anya yore da ashi anya tuka zongsadre pagi ya zongsadre tino pomo chumbata zongsadre timbala tuka no la angala pomo chur lo tujire tada chama de ali tinga cha Rinpoche chama kha kore bono la lama mandra chi ni tuka ga zutong chimbuchi kai ser za lhatra zu bezo zu me ko zu gomba ta tana pe ma se lama yabuchi du jana jung mani khawi tan Rinpoche josundre ta Rinpoche du nga jiro ta ni tu ni la nga tu chunju pe ma chunju chi lo choni zir ni sambal ta san ta Rinpoche jiro ta Rinpoche na ni ma ni zi nga le jiro are sam chirla na ko ni la no shi ji le ka chi le o ma re san nga sambal jawa chi tan de ji da nga chunju ku na chela da ta ga ni la chi to na zo mi Rinpoche ge chu sun de ni to na zo ma ni Rinpoche ko la nga na che da bu ge chu ge region da nga chamal gam tan chi rish Tindi Rinpoche jana ju tan jiro de de ba chi ngin a le au ma ngin a ma la sen la chi je ma shi tanga ya che hi chena de ni nga lo je re hi chen de bu no la ni mo bo chi Rinpoche dan janda ni mo bo chi jana ju ma ni kha yu to tan ka ni ti ni ten ya ha ku shi ten ye sambal je chi di to la ha ko go ji ni ke cha bu de chirla na ka ni to lag bur sang ni sambal ten ye to zan ra tai.
My name is Nyima Lhamo, and I am the niece of late Tulku Tenzin Delek Rinpoche. I am 26 years old, and I am the second born of 5 siblings. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and her name is Dawa Dolma. My father, Thupten Khalsang, is no more. With my mother, Dorgal Lhamo, our eldest sister, Tenzin Palmo, who has a 9-year-old son and 2 younger brothers. My youngest sister has also passed away. My uncle, Tenzin Delek Rinpoche, was a highly respected Tibetan Lama in our village. He was known for his philanthropic works in eastern Tibet, where he established schools, orphanages, old age homes. I consider my uncle as my teacher who taught me the real meaning of being Tibetan Buddhist. Someone who has always helped others in need and has no ill intention towards others. So when I heard the news of his arrest in 2002, I was 12 years old then, and the first thing that came to my mind was he would be released soon, since he had not committed any crimes. However, I was wrong. Justice was not done in case of my uncle. He was falsely accused and unlawfully detained by the Chinese authorities, leading to his arrest and death while serving life sentence on 12 July 2015 in Chengdu. While growing up in Tibet, it is common to hear such sad instances of Tibetans dying inside Chinese prison without justice being done to them. I know there are many other Tibetans who continue to face the same fate as my uncle. So with a lot of difficulties and hardship, I escaped Tibet, but for a very important reason, to share the suffering of my late uncle Tenzin Rinpoche and that of other political prisoners in Tibet who continue to suffer under the repressive Chinese rule.
Rinpoche mani kayu tan Rinpoche tan jisun zre. Rinpoche tin jilo ta ganyo lo josan kala chi chen kon zhe re. De zhe me zang zhe de ko le Rinpoche kin zhe ko le me se mon bo shi du je. Jawa je jana jun la. Mon bo chi zo zhe jana jun ge jawa choma chi se dang ga zre. Jawa choma chi se dang ga de. Ni ma ni zile de Rinpoche ta ma zhe zhong ga zre. Rinpoche china dunzla amada anenya kangon khama chudu zig chesundra tari jumbachi dusa chela chano ka siji malalan jamne jung tan che daina rumbachi dusa chesar sam semba gaga sam mate chinodi jana jung ni tu jangalog dadam be sabani rum amada anenya chesundra khama chatama chindul kasan tari tu soni tu chil tu mar te jana ni tu dialog Ni tu chiang log da bag sabachela amad aninikal da rompachin desuzler tu chiumar taking what could drunk was like chinarela ashen de sa khujila la long the kaisers the car la ngaumar ngai na shidu mombachita ta mate les mate le de tas ngot rompachin drunk was la ngad chi anne gokala kambet What's Rinpoche called a Thomas a chain of Zomati? Children, what's a Jacko Chilla? CJ knew you are, and what's hot Jacko Hogan, your mother, Lena. I can't but talk. I never heard a song to do. Yes, can you steal last woman? I see on the Bruce house. What in the city or something? The quad to me, I'm a hana, young woman. Telekani is a teledungi is at a sanjit is asking his number. Yamakuts is at him. Quite near Chonda. I'm at the Anenikaga. Can you wheeler? Can you the Dunya Talisiti Lasamati? Lasamangla. Tenazati. What's so much knowledge? Jana Guara Kunga knowledge chance. Chaundi. What's studied doing it the Kangichi and the Jawachi and the Talahular? What's the Rinpoche in the Sesame? Tangotamas and here called me Tezog. Let Tangochikala Yaya, Tanachina. Studying what's in Henzego. Jawachite. Jawani but what's the Rinpoche could do sackler? The Kudu Sagalam, the Jacob Kandak Bachi, Kandak Sijir, the Laminate the Kandak, Thomas Lurley. Jawa Sambat. What's the Sijil Tena? How much young garrulous? Jai Gibbet? What's the Rinpoche? Could do yet, dear? What's the Chummy? Namila. Jang about? What's the Rinpoche? Jacob Kaisers, Kuzlamachi. Lamachi is over what's Shanonika Chagulous. That the young at the Rat, how much is it? Go to the Rinpoche in Jesa. Tuntuch Tish. Tuntuch Jedida. Rinpoche tut and see Hazela. Cinderella. Not to the true logic. Dari tuju Sony Tuchilan. Rinpoche tuju Omar. How much at home, no, the machi. Rinpoche Druzer, the city. Tenzin. What's a real ten hinzit, let him hinzit you. Don't a song? What's the siege and Hamachiang Garla, the Hamachiang. Then say, what's a guati in the Yats Zung guati, that to Zung guati. The come here, quarter, Chizu Toma, Robochik, they do Chizu Toma. Then sang Robochik Kudumasi, Katea Loma. Then say, Trooper. What did the Robochik Jesus already? Chotanana, two and seals. Namati. Tra Mobachik Jew. That's home like 7 and jail. Then is on the drew of the Robochik. That I can let on the net on Robochik drew Samuel. Guy in the churches and Robochik Lama Zamati, Lama Solici. Just all no ship chilla. Don't you? Mr. Rinpoche call it 12. Chimney on it. Rinpoche call it 12 mature. 12 mature. My chatter. Guys, that's Rinpoche call it touch here on the cotton duty. Don't the true better? Rinpoche about let him ramature. Don't say the Yaman. Kind of Kotzaka. Rinpoche, you won't see that. You tune up. Betty Rinpoche let or leg with it at the Yachizung Gucci, the London, you question. Then said true, but Rinpoche death, I will yell. Rinpoche Chakachka, true. What's the mess out when and go again? You're true. Chinazang, what Hagoman. Me somebody jetting the legacy to get somebody. Set a lara gain. Burnog. Dinner to Gomba toggle. I need a moment in my done. And yes, on rock jordan. The telling it in the language. Quoting on as a gang in the city last I mean rocket jerson. Think it in the lay.
It is a wonderful feeling to be here and experience the freedom that I've always yearned for. I feel extremely happy to be in front of all of you, and I'm most grateful for you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Today, I would like to emphasize on 2 points and a hope regarding my uncle Tulku Tenzin Delek Rinpoche. My 2 points are of the circumstances surrounding before and after my uncle's death. First, I would like to speak about situation before my uncle's death. My uncle has never committed any offense against the law of the nation. However, he was falsely accused by the Chinese authorities and was imprisoned for 13 years, and authorities denied every appeal made by Rinpoche and his supporters and his relatives. On 2nd July 2015, 10 days before Rinpoche's death, we were informed that we could meet Rinpoche. Hence, my mother and my aunt left immediately for Chengdu. However, after reaching there, the prison authorities kept postponing the visit for 10 days. At around 10 p.m. on 12th July, we were informed of Rinpoche's death. I received a call from my mother saying that Rinpoche had passed away. As soon as I reached Chengdu, my mother, my aunt, and I, and some other people protested against the authorities for not allowing us to see and claim Rinpoche's body. We shouted, "You killed Rinpoche. If you did not kill him, give us the medical certificates." My mother hit her head against the wall and shouted for evidence to prove of Rinpoche's death. We protested in front of the officials, asking them, if we belong to the same nation, one nation as you claim, then why are we being treated differently? Why do you have two policies for so-called one nation? Then I attempted suicide by tying scarf around my neck. Alarmed by our protest, prison authorities led us into the prison. Subsequently, we were asked to tell our concerns. So we wrote our concern. First, we requested them to preserve Rinpoche's body for 15 days in accordance with the Chinese law. Second, if Rinpoche died of natural causes as they claim, we want to see the medical certificates. Third, we want clear information on who ordered Rinpoche's body to be burned and not returned to our family. Finally, we will not carry any further investigations or appeals or petitions against the authorities regarding Rinpoche's body if his body is handed over to the family. However, none of our concerns were addressed. Moreover, we were informed that they will burn Rinpoche's body at 7 a.m. the next day against our wishes. Later, they led us briefly to see Rinpoche's body. After seeing his body, I have 6 reasons to believe that my uncle was poisoned to death. First, the prison authorities did not allow my mother to meet Rinpoche and kept postponing the visit for 10 days. Second, they did not provide any medical evidences, documents, or death certificate to corroborate the claim that Rinpoche died of natural causes. Third, the government officials denied our request that Rinpoche's body be preserved for 15 days in accordance with the Chinese law. Fourth, the time of death cited by the authorities kept changing, with one version stating that it occurred at 2 p.m., while the others at 4 p.m. Fifth, in violation of Chinese law, neither Rinpoche's body nor his ashes were returned to my family. Finally, when they let us see Rinpoche's body briefly, I noticed that his lips were black, and even the monks who had cleaned Rinpoche's body said his fingers and toenails were black. My second point is regarding the circumstances following Rinpoche's death and the situation of Lithang now. After Rinpoche's death, the Chinese authorities continue to dishonor him in following manners. First, the Chinese authorities distributed pamphlets and aired false and distorted information on television, such as Tenzin Delek Rinpoche is a fake Lama and a criminal, and that he was a threat to so-called social stability. Second, my family and local Tibetans were not allowed to offer traditional butter lamb and organize public prayer in memory of Rinpoche. Third, the local authorities did not allow building of a memorial stupa for Rinpoche. Fourth, I have also heard that the authorities in Nyakshuka are attempting to manipulate the reincarnation of Tenzin Delek Rinpoche like the Chinese authority did in the case of leveled pension Lama. Fifth, the pictures of Rinpoche were banned in Lethang. Finally, Rinpoche's belongings, including his money, were confiscated and were told that they will be burned. These are 2 points that I want to share with you today.
당이 엄마들 야뉴도 엄마들 내고 지는데 좋은 거지만 로바 친구 이게 그 타마 두지라 이게 그 같이 또 사이는 또 타망과 김에서 호모 떠디거나 뭐차고 말이 로바 친구들 라우 팀에서 안갔다 우지 나마치 나다 난자이 뭐버치 번올라 니 아시안이 뭐버치 तब न्यान दियो रुपनो तर के सब ये तारे ने लाजरा जे चिंदी तो खाको गनी के छबो रेसा तांग तमस स्विस ड्रेसो प्रेस ड्रेसो जे युरो ड्रेसो तक तारे रुम बच कोलन नि तो जिलो नि तो निलो नि तो हिलो 니동알 다시도 못 떠오르las 니 코스 달라 냠바치 거트갈 투지 첼란 후이 동이나 못나 모르갈 조주다 버그디 강에 예스 콤발 로치 따로 슈두치 저로나 맞다치 후지 투지
Even as I speak here today, people in Tibet are undergoing tremendous suffering. I particularly think of those in Tharungar Institute, the largest Tibetan Buddhist center in the world that is currently facing wide-scale demolition by the Chinese government. On July 20, 2016, China initiated its plan to decimate Tharungar and evict and displace at least half of its 10,000 plus residents by September 2017. 3 nuns have reported to have committed suicide in the protest at the Tharungar Institute since the beginning of the demolition of the institute. I fled Tibet, leaving my family, including my 6-year-old daughter. I know my speaking here might jeopardize my family's safety in Tibet. Despite that, I am taking all the risk in speaking in front of you today with a sincere hope and appeal to the international community to prevail upon the Chinese government to carry out a thorough investigation into the circumstances leading to the death of Rinpoche. More importantly, I do this as a Rinpoche has advised his sister during their last meeting in prison to appeal for his case whenever possible and not get embarrassed if in case they had to beg for financial assistance. Last but not least, on behalf of Rinpoche and my family and his supporters, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the European Parliament for passing resolutions on Tenzin Delek Rinpoche in 2004 and 2005, and other resolutions passed in 2002 and 2003, expressing your concerns on the imprisonment of Tenzin Delek Rinpoche and for his release. I sincerely hope that you will use every possible political and diplomatic instrument to raise the issue of Tibet with the Chinese government. Thank you all.
Muchísimas gracias. Voy a dar la palabra, bueno, no sé si algún colega quiera intervenir, parece que no. Voy a dar la palabra entonces a Deren Deria, del Desk Officer de China. Adelante. Y con esto concluiremos.
Thank you very much. First of all, to state that immediately after the death of Tenzin Delek Rinpoche, the European External Action Service published a statement reading that following his death, we express our deepest condolences to his family, friends and supporters. The European Union had consistently called for his release and adequate medical treatment. We expressed our expectation that the Chinese authorities would investigate and make public the circumstances surrounding his death. However, since then, I'm afraid we do not have much information to follow up on his case. Generally, on human rights in China and in Tibet, I'd like to underline that defense and promotion of human rights is a key component of our foreign policy. In this context, we follow closely the situation in Tibet, and we are deeply and sincerely concerned by the deterioration witnessed over the past years. We have a new European Union strategy on China adopted July in 2016, which replaced the last communication on China of 2006. This is an ambitious strategy stating that the EU's engagement with China will be principled, practical and pragmatic, staying true to its interests and values, in particular adherence to international rules and norms and respect for human rights. In line with that, it is an integral part of our engagement with China, and we raise our human rights concerns in all occasions, including high-level dialogue meetings, such as the EU-China Summit in July 2016, where President Tusk voiced the EU's concerns both bilaterally with the Chinese President and Premier and publicly at the press conference. We raise our human rights concerns and specifically the question of Tibet at Human Rights Council through Item 4 statements, and we regularly publish statements by the spokesperson of the High Representative and EU delegation in Beijing. While we are attached to the One China policy, and we do not question that Tibet is an integral part of China, we are committed to engage with China to improve the situation on the ground. We regularly call on the Chinese authorities to refrain from the use of force, to allow peaceful protest and respect human rights in Tibet, as well as in other parts of China. Concerns of Tibetans should be addressed through dialogue as the only way to reach a solution with respect for Tibetan culture, religion, and traditions. We welcome China's wish to raise the living standards of the Tibetan population. However, we are aware of the growing discontent among Tibetans regarding local development policies and of protests against mining and hydroelectric projects. We are concerned that such protests are most of the time considered as splitism and are frequently and often violently suppressed by the police. We see that the unequal distribution of benefits in China of economic development, which seems to leave Tibetans behind in favor of the Han Chinese, as well as heavy-handed repression by the government, is fueling great disaffection. Although the pace of self-immolations has slowed down, they still continue. In fact, March 2016 saw the 145th case of self-immolation among Tibetans since 2009. The criminalization of self-immolations and association with self-immolators, including friends, families and communities, has led to prison or death sentences and financial and other penalties for entire communities. The EU is worried by restrictions also on expressions of Tibetan identity and freedom of expression in Tibet. Over the last years, an increasing number of Tibetan intellectuals, bloggers and cultural figures have faced criminal charges or have been imprisoned. On cultural rights, while the preservation of minority languages is encouraged under China's constitution, many minorities in China express concern that Beijing's policies encourage the use of Mandarin at the expense and marginalization of minority languages. We are also concerned about the ongoing demolitions and restrictions at Larungar Buddhist Academy, as well as the expulsion of monastic individuals from these areas. Those are my general comments on Tibet. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Muchísimas gracias. ¿Quieren ustedes añadir algo más?
Ngande shidu mobachita ngande jongos chirla ngatsomal jawachita so uyesonos. Chitangi go hojur tari hiyatka punti tari jejrama ngan rodin chi. Ngasini zuko yogi kechachi mare de jata samon de buno gni mobachig. Tangali sa de jawachita jrawors on trika good yoran. Yinanga yinde meditas nitrikala Jawachil to go home, not them chickens go you. What go put the dumbest on the judges on the deer, not let them chick. La Mahios to go get to you to jitch them. Rolling me as a tongue, some hawk. The children of tongues and hawk. Then I will let Nyani use that it could be a here's a Nicola Lynch on the Chinajilan. Rally me as a third. It's hot and knowledge when you're son. It's hot, Chindarina. Koshkala Kangi Zubitu Kangi Dungi Sichil Lasayuma Sichil Tasayuma Koshka Hasana Yella Nermachine Wrong Kangi Siju Watching and you mobile Hakwa your son. Then you're all messed up, not a son. Chilana, this hot, Nalu when you there. Thanking you. What's paying a norm? Somaga. Jetty on Mahako good. Catch up with yours on the thing. Yet, daddy. The jet did the cocoa did telling here good. Catch up with your sign. Horka Tangan Thomas Bull, judges or do not damn much. Let me hear you damaging a god. You said, "Did get you?" Did you?
I have had no formal education, no formal schooling, and I do not know how to speak properly. But I have sacrificed a lot with the hope that Tibetan cause will be raised over and again whenever there's an opportunity. She talked about self-immolation. When I think of self-immolation, I not only can sympathize with them, but I can empathize with the self-immolators. When I tried to commit suicide while my mother and I were in detention center in Chengdu, the feeling of dying, I can imagine how they go through. Since there are no formal options left to protest, like you do have in democratic country, since there's no formal option left, the only way to express our sorrow, our concern, is the self-immolation. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for supporting our cause. I have nothing to say but thank you from the bottom of my heart for standing up for us. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias. Se levanta la sesión.
She would like to offer a traditional Tibetan scarf to thank you for giving her this opportunity.
Central Madrid. ¿Qué? Pues como quieras.